All right, joining us now with more, host of Keeping It Real, a podcast which is part of the Club Random Studios, available anywhere you listen to podcasts, and now also on video format on YouTube, Jillian Michaels. Well, first of all, I've been a fan for a long time. I don't know if you know this. I'm into mixed martial arts and health, wellness, fitness, and I don't think I'd want to train with you because I think you kick my ass. Because you're pretty tough. I've watched you in action. You're pretty hardcore. However, I listen to this. I'm going to read back one of your lines that you said to Sage, and I really want to get your thoughts on this because, like you, I made the decision. I left New York. I grew up in New York. I've traveled the world, you know, doing radio and all that stuff, and lived in 5 different states, but including California. But when you said, I hold 1 million cards in your game of woke victimology poker, and when I leave California, you know, maybe you've lost your effing mind, just maybe. I don't think I've heard anything more powerful. That interview blew me away. Talk about it.
You know, here's the thing. As I said to Sage, I grew up in California, and I have all of the reasons to be a, quote, liberal. And in the classic sense of what that means to me, it means live and let live. But where the left has gone, it's completely antithetical to that. It's the opposite of that. It's almost fascistic on the extreme left. And that's what I was running from in California. And the state is just descending into complete disrepair. And another irony of California is that, you know, for me, I work in health. It's ridiculous that I'm talking to you only because I have no knowledge of politics. I shouldn't be commenting on this. But the fact that health also has become a political football, gone are the days of me being on the lighthearted morning shows talking about six-pack abs and fighting for people's ability to question the kids' vaccine schedule. I mean, it's ridiculous. We don't even allow conversations to happen anymore. So when you look at the homelessness crisis in Los Angeles, I have friends who are experts in what's going on with that, and they explain to me, you know, Jill, there's really no such thing as homelessness because these people are either addicts or they have mental health issues. We're not helping those people. $24 billion. $24 billion went to work on that crisis, and there's nothing to show for it, and homelessness has gone up. And if you think that it's empathetic to allow people to literally die on the streets, it's not. It's so many things of that nature that I'm simply outraged with. The outright hypocrisy is staggering. And unfortunately, as I said to Sage, I could go on and on.
You know, it's interesting to me because I'm fairly libertarian about people and their personal lives. I believe in freedom. I want the government off my back, out of my life, get away from all of us, leave us alone. But they feel that they want to control every aspect of our life. You know, and you raise this with particular passion in that podcast as it relates to children. And you're open-minded. You know, you said, and I know parents that are living through this too. Their kids think that maybe, you know, they have gender identity issues. Okay, but the idea that they're as, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old are going to make a life-changing decision is off the table for them. And even if they disagree with me politically.
There is a war on our kids going on right now, and I talk about it on my podcast with experts like Callie Means, who I know has been on many different Fox shows. He's brilliant. We're looking at it from big food, trying to literally push all of this crap on our kids and make it so that it's, you can't say junk food in schools. This was a California thing that circulated. You can't call it junk food because it's racist. I mean, it's just, I'm like, what is happening? Or, you know, pushing this sort of gender-affirming ideology on young kids. And here's the thing. If a child is trans, okay, great, support that child. But, and what I mean by that is I would let my kids explore it. I would never judge them. I would talk to them about it. I might get them some help to really deal with what's going on. Is there something underlying? And when we look at things like the Cass Review, which is, in my opinion, the seminal work on this. This was Dr. Hilary Cass in the UK. Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because I contend as a conservative that the left has, especially in big cities where they have dominated, they have had power for decades and decades, or a state like California. And I know Gavin Newsom, like him personally, don't agree with the thing he's doing or saying. I think he's nuts politically. But, you know, you see people like yourself, you're leaving California. I left New York. I'm in Florida. Probably the best decision I've ever made for a lot of reasons, some of which I would agree with you on. But if you look at these big cities, look at their educational system. We pay more per capita per student, the worst results. How is it with law and order and safety and security? Are they safe?
Crime's gone up.
Because
Crime
how do you pursue happiness? Defund, dismantle, no bail laws. How's that working out for people? Why do they keep electing these people? I'm not asking who you're voting for. I'm not dragging you into that
You know
hell.
what it is? The problem with that question is that I don't want to influence or suggest that I should have any influence over who people vote for. I have no business jumping into that arena, and I try to avoid engaging in that conversation because I don't want people to think that I feel my opinion matters, it should influence their opinion, or I judge them for it. But I don't know, Sean, and I have had a talk with so many of my friends, and the ones that got it, got it, have left. And the ones that don't see it at all. Or, by the way, there's a handful of issues that matter to them, and they're willing to sort of disregard all the things that bother me. And that's okay. We all have a handful of issues that are important to us, and we vote that way. So for them, it makes sense. There are certain things on the right that really bother them, and they overlook all the stuff that you and I are speaking about, which I find deeply alarming. And gender-affirming care has to do with the health of our kids. It's about blocking puberty and the dangers that creates for these children as their brain is developing. It's not about being transphobic. You know,
first of all, you're probably going to take heat for even talking to me, but I just asked people a simple question. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Are you okay with open borders? 11 million unvetted illegal immigrants. How's defund, dismantle, no bail law working out for you? How's the economy doing for you? Do you like higher energy prices? Okay, if you do, vote for Kamala Harris. Do you think America's role in the world? We have about 30 seconds. I'll give you the last word. Okay. I just think that the election should be about, are you better off? If you're better off, then vote for Kamala Harris again. Good luck. I don't think we are.
I totally agree with you. And my last word would be, I bet you take heat for talking to me. And I appreciate that you would engage in this conversation. And the interesting thing is, you don't see MSNBC having this conversation. They won't have a debate conversation like this. So I really appreciate you having me on. I thank you for it.
I appreciate it. This could be like a 5-hour conversation, and maybe one day we'll have it. But, Jillian, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.